Wednesday morning. I just got the kids dropped off at school, and I'm headed to Safeway to get vitamins. Yeah, I'm out of vitamins again, so go get some more vitamins. So, like, I wanted to just, because it does come from a lot from my subscriber group specifically. I guess I'll just address it here, and it'll end up everywhere anyways. Okay. So it shows you how where it'd be like, Black Daddy is just like extra with his baby girl.
Did you just call him Black Daddy?
It's healing, seeing a relationship. He has with Noah, but then it breaks the heart of me that he's not the same way with Addie and Bella.
So that's what this is about. Drew must not treat Addie and Bella like they're his kids. He favors his daughter, Moma.
It's like, I don't understand how a dad can be a freaking girl father and mistreat the woman.
I mean, I get what you're saying in theory, but the answer is because the woman he's dealing with is not his daughter. He doesn't want his daughter to be mistreated, but you're just somebody else's daughter. That doesn't matter to some men. Some men are only capable of loving their biological daughters, and some aren't even capable of that.
So apparently Stephanie hopped online and went on a full-blown rant. And honey, it did not land the way she probably hoped it would. Not even close. She started going in on every caseworker who's ever come to check on the family. She was clearly irritated that they already knew about them before they even showed up at the door. She kept repeating how they had watched us and knew about us ahead of time, and that they brought that energy with them when they came to talk. And I'm sitting here like, what energy exactly? The energy of doing their actual job? The energy of walking into a situation with kids while having some background instead of showing up completely blind? Because caseworkers aren't brand new subscribers just tuning in for the first time. They're not there to be entertained or slowly introduced to the family story. Their job is to look at the children, look at where they're living, and decide whether everything is truly okay.
Okay, so in Stephanie Jenkins' new video, the saddest part, I don't know if you caught it, you have to probably rewatch it a couple times, is that her daughter is reading a book, right? She's reading a comic book. But she's turning, like, she doesn't understand print concepts because she's not turning it from, she's not reading from left to right and then turning the page. She's actually reading from the back of the book to the front of the book. These are things, they're so small, and maybe it's me, the camera angle, watch the video, let me know, but she's not reading that book correctly. And Stephanie has bigger fish to fry that I guess teach her kids how to read because she's minding everybody else's business but her own. But like, this kind of shows you how neglected she is. And just because you're around your kids doesn't mean that you're a good mom and you're spending time with them. Say it again. Just because you're around your kids does not mean that you are actively engaged with them, and that is proof.
So when she frames it like it's suspicious that they came in already informed, it kind of makes you wonder, what exactly is out there that has them showing up on high alert? That doesn't feel like the strongest way to start a conversation about your kid's well-being, you know? Then she takes it a step further. She says she can't wait for all of it to come back on them, but tries to soften it with vengeance is the Lord's, and how it's not godly to go off on people. I'm sorry, but you can't sit there basically hoping for karma to hit them hard, and then act like you're taking the high road with Scripture. That just feels like a crash out wrapped in a Bible verse. It doesn't make it sound more spiritual. It makes it sound messy. Real talk, I get that parents get defensive. That part makes sense. But this isn't some silly fight with a neighbor. These are professionals whose literal job is to make sure her children are safe. If you're going to bring God into it, maybe start with peace, humility, or at least a little self-control instead of, I hope they get what's coming to them. Especially when we're talking about your kid's living situation. And then, out of nowhere, the rant swerves hard. She tells one of the caseworkers that she had to go the other route because ain't no way a man is gonna like you. Girl, why are we bringing men's attraction into a child welfare conversation? What does that have to do with anything?
But This is what I gotta say, is that people keep coming at me with the Drew's cheating, Drew's this, Drew's that. With what solid evidence does anybody actually bring? Nothing. Like, just a bunch of drama, just a bunch of AI crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've got nothing but time on your hands, private investigate that situation if that's what you so want to do. Provide such actual solid evidence that it's undeniably true. You know what I'm saying? And I'm genuinely saying this because y'all know by now I'm somebody who struggles with insecurities and my own damn issues. And like, up to this point, I know it's just Drew's fed up with it. He's told me time and time again, like, babe, at this point, I just accepted this as part of being with you. And I'm going to have to keep denying stuff until we're old because I'm not doing anything. And he's like, but until we're 80 and 90, I'm like, I guess I'm just proving my love to you. And I don't want him to feel like that because I hate these things about myself. I hate that I'm so anxious and like that I spend a good part of my day wondering if he actually cares about me and what he's doing and where's this. I hate that.
It came off really male-centered and honestly kind of invalidating to the whole LGBTQ plus community. The idea that a woman's worth or who she is depends on whether a man finds her attractive? That's a wild take, especially in 2026. And throwing it in just to insult someone? Oof. It made the whole rant look even worse. Especially since Stephanie has her own complicated relationship history. So when she's out here using desirability as a weapon against somebody else, it kind of circles back in a way that doesn't help her image at all. Now here's where it gets more concerning. The long-term motel situation keeps coming up, and Stephanie seems genuinely shocked that caseworkers are even paying attention to it. But when you've been openly posting your kids in that unstable environment for so long, you can't really act surprised when professionals start asking questions. A caseworker noticing the setup isn't bias. It's literally what they're supposed to do.
My gosh, Miss Thompson. Miss Thompson. She throws shade at the social worker for being homosexual. Miss Thompson, really? You're hobosexual. You had a pedophile as a husband first, and now you have a hobo. Somebody that is only there because he's comfortable. But once that work wife comes through, that man's gone, Miss Thompson. And how can you talk about someone that is homosexual when you were in a homosexual relationship previously? Remember? We all know about that. When you first left Jeremiah and you were working at the retirement home, you were dating a female who was transitioning. Who are you to talk about this person's sexuality when they're just doing their job? And actually, they're not even doing their job, because if they were doing their job, those children would be getting services.
And then there's this part that allegedly came out during the rant, that there was somewhere else they could have gone, but they chose to stay in the motel because of Drew. If that's accurate, it shifts things from "we're struggling" to "we made a choice." And when kids are involved, the tough question becomes, at what point do the children's needs come before the adult's relationship? Because those babies didn't pick the motel life. They didn't choose the instability. They're just living with whatever decisions the grown-ups are making. Speaking of choices, allegedly the kids haven't even been getting regular baby wipes consistently. But Stephanie was able to get pH-balanced feminine wipes for herself. Now listen, I'm not here to nitpick every single thing they buy. But when you've made multiple videos explaining why you're not getting wipes for your 1- and 3-year-old, and even showed them using reusable rags in a shared bathroom, and then you're prioritizing personal feminine wipes? That contrast hits different. It doesn't look good, you guys. It makes people immediately think selfish, even if you try to explain it away with samples or coupons or whatever. When the kids' basic hygiene turns into a whole debate online, but your own personal items stay prioritized, it just doesn't sit right with a lot of folks.
Who's come and interacted with me and watched us and knew about us before interacting with us and decided you wanted to bring that energy to come talk to me. I can't fucking wait until it all comes back to your face. I just can't. You know, and that's not the right attitude, but it's just like, you know, vengeance is the Lord's. And that's why I don't be actually going off on people. I don't really think it's not godly to want people to get the energy back that they were throwing at you unnecessarily. You feel me? Especially this last one that came over. That's why you had to go the other route, because ain't no way a man got like you.
The rant didn't happen in a vacuum either. There's the alleged history with Drew, the old letters to the judge, the claims about homelessness for content, the job situation, the online behavior, talks of burner accounts, and the fact that the kids have seemed a little down and haven't been shown as much lately. Whether every single detail is fully confirmed or not, it's a heavy pile of concerns. So when Stephanie gets on camera, upset that caseworkers already knew about them, it doesn't really read as a protective mama bear moment. It comes across more like another adult-centered reaction when the focus should be on the kids. There was also that situation where someone allegedly ended up in the same motel area. Instead of her first thought being, "We need to get the children somewhere safer," it apparently came off more like, "Get out of my space." That protective energy just seemed missing. And that's what worries people the most. What makes it worse is that Stephanie has shown before that she knows how to own up when she speaks out of turn. She's said she doesn't want drama and tries to keep things friendly. So she clearly understands what accountability sounds like when it helps her image. But when it comes to the serious stuff involving her kids' environment and stability, that energy vanishes and suddenly everyone else is the problem.
I don't want to live in that anxiety. I want to get control of it. And but in the actual sense, I think that people bring it up and say it because they know it triggers me and they don't like me. So they just are like, well, this is just the most easy thing to trigger her on and get to her. So let's bring it up and let's say it. And let's say that it's happening. And you know, but in the actual sense, like, if you so honestly believe it to be true, we have the same schedule. We do the same stuff all the freaking time. And you know what Drew looks like. You know what our car looks like. And if you have nothing but time, go investigate. And like, literally, we don't care. Like, he said the same thing too. Like, I don't know why these people don't just like try to freaking actually get some stuff, because they just play around with the this is happening. Now he's got a work wife that's the entire reason he shows up to work, when literally there's only 2 women that work at night and they're elderly. And like, it's constantly people trying to set stuff up to look one way, when it's like, we're not afraid of what you think looks one way when you don't have any actual evidence of it. I mean, yeah, I live in anxiety about it, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. So it's not something that, like, people are like, well, you don't even believe it to be true. Duh. Like, bro, it's a flaw of mine. That doesn't mean that it's actually happening. Do you understand that? Like, can you differentiate the two? That just because I believe in my psychotic freaking mind sometimes that something's true doesn't make it true. That's the same for you.
By the end of the rant, it didn't really clear anything up. If anything, it made the questions even louder. It kept shining the spotlight on Stephanie feeling judged, instead of zeroing in on what the kids actually need right now. And you guys, we also have to talk about this whole Mama Candy situation because, oh my God, it took a turn nobody saw coming. So apparently this woman popped up claiming she was the new neighbor at that same motel spot where the resilient Jenkins have been staying. She positioned herself as another mom in a tough spot, trying to escape a bad situation with her kid. But now reports are coming out that she might not have been exactly who she said she was, and a lot of people online are feeling played. Here's the thing, and this was a huge red flag for me from the very beginning. If you're genuinely a domestic violence survivor trying to stay low-key and protect yourself and your child, why would you be showing the exact location, the room numbers, the signs, everything on the internet for the whole world to see? That part felt off immediately. I get wanting support, but putting all that out there so publicly just seemed way too risky. Anyway, it looks like another case of someone coming online, spinning a story, and riding a wave of sympathy that might not have been fully earned.
I'm starting to get suspicious of the grifting that is going on. There's a lot of grifting going on. Fact check me if I'm wrong on this. Somebody told me that her GFM was like at 900 and is now up to like $7,000 or something. She kept like threatening to delete her page, and then someone would like Venmo or Cash App her, and then she would delete it. Now she has deleted it, but she's kept the Cash App and the Venmo on there. I don't know. Maybe part of me is like bitter. I don't think I am. I'm a single mom with 4 kids. You guys know that. I barely get any child support. Sometimes I get some. Even if I were to get like the full what is ordered, my ex was ordered to pay $250 for 3 children over 10 years ago, and I have elected to not have it raised because I feel like he would stop working and then I wouldn't get anything at all. Also, I know that his earning potential is very low. So if you don't think I struggle as a single mother of 4 children with no help, you would be mistaken.
I have to be honest with you. I'm not the type of creator who jumps on every GoFundMe and tells everybody to run and donate. It's really rare for me because I like to actually look into things first. And I'm so glad I held back this time. I didn't share her fundraiser, I didn't push anybody toward it, and I definitely didn't donate. I just reacted to the videos she posted and raised a few questions because something felt a little too scripted. A lot of other creators covering the Jenkins family went hard promoting her and hyping up the donations, so credit to those who are now calling it out. One creator in particular did a really good recap of everything that's been unfolding, and it touched on all the points that were bothering me.
Hey, Mommy. Addie, are you done playing outside?
No, why?
I don't know. What do you want to do outside this summer? Do you want a sprinkler or a slip and slide?
What's a slip?
Because look, the grass is already starting to turn and tan.
What's a
Don't mind
slip
it.
inside?
Don't mind it.
What's a slip inside?
What's a slip and slide?
Yeah, what's that?
I swore you had, see, you were clean on the for it. It's basically just like the
Yes, I do. I want to slip inside. I remember. You can do it on your belly.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna slide on bubbles like he's a slip inside. Whee! No, what do you do? Ooh, and water balloons. We can throw water balloons at each other on the slip and slide. It's gonna be perfect. For summer.
Oh, that's awesome. I love
Did
that.
you know summer's in 4 days?
You got a twin. You got a birthday twin. Addie, come on, Daddy.
Her first videos had this polished vibe that didn't quite match someone who was supposedly in crisis mode. She kept showing the motel sign over and over, almost like it was product placement. Then she'd film right in front of her room so the number was crystal clear. Girl, if you're trying to hide from a dangerous ex, why broadcast exactly where you are? That was the biggest giveaway for me. It felt less like a desperate cry for help and more like content creation. And let's be real, a lot of us were side-eyeing it because we all know how badly people want to see someone come in and do things differently from Stephanie in that environment. We were secretly hoping for a mom who would show up and handle it better. But sometimes when something seems too perfect, it probably is. She was doing all the things people have been begging the Jenkins to do, filming in the exact same setting. It almost felt like she studied the playbook.
A couple of things. So Stephanie Jenkins recently posted a video talking about how she is in beef with Mama Candy. Mama Candy is a mother who just recently started posting videos that I've noticed. She has some videos that have been out there for a while, but she moved in to that motel shelter that Stephanie Jenkins is currently living in. So she's just basically trying to post her point of view, what she's going. The thing about Mama Candy is that she's transparent and people really like her, which I guess threatens Stephanie Jenkins because it threatened her because other people are watching her, liking her, and not giving Stephanie Jenkins any attention. But they bullied her so bad. Stephanie Jenkins bullied Mama Candy so bad that she had to delete her TikTok people were being really mean to Mama Candy, and they were just like, I guess she wasn't used to like the hate and all the drama. She just kind of wanted to like post a day in the life, and people really liked Mama Candy more because she was putting in job applications. Her place was clean. Like literally, they were staying in the same motel shelter, but it might have been like, it should have been completely two different worlds, because Stephanie Jenkins today is dirty, but apparently Mama Candy was like clean. Her place was always together. Her kid was taken care of.
Another thing that raised eyebrows was how fast the GoFundMe goal jumped. It started at something small, like $900. Then once it got traction, boom, straight up to $7,000. And apparently her son was front and center on the fundraiser page, even though in the TikToks, his face was often covered with emojis. I actually have to correct myself here, because I was going off the videos saying I didn't see the kid much, but it turns out on the actual fundraiser he was visible. My bad for not double-checking that sooner. The organizer name also got switched midway through. It went from one person in New York to another, and that made some donors uncomfortable. A few people reached out to GoFundMe about it, and at least one person got a refund while they investigate. If you donated and you're having second thoughts now that more info is coming out, you can apparently contact them directly and ask. When questions started popping up, Mama Candy apparently sent a message saying the organizer change was for protection against identity theft. But let's be so for real. Just your name alone doesn't usually let someone steal your whole identity. And then she called the person asking a wannabe journalist, which is funny because she seemed totally fine with all the commentary pages when they were pushing her fundraiser and driving donations her way. Now suddenly anybody asking for clarity is the enemy? That flip happens so fast.
Why are you speaking on lesbians when this was you, when your husband didn't want you? And now you're with a man who also doesn't want you, so what are you saying? This is what she said.
I just want to say that to every caseworker who's come and interacted with me and watched us and knew about us before interacting with us and decided you wanted to bring that energy to come talk to me. I can't fucking wait till it all comes back in your face. I just can't. You know, and that's not the right attitude, but it's just like, you know, vengeance is the Lord's. That's why I don't be actually going off on people. I don't really think it's not godly to want people to get the energy back that they were throwing at you unnecessarily. You feel me? Especially this last one that came over. That's why you had to go the other route, because ain't no way a man can like you.
Meanwhile, no man likes you because the call is coming from inside the house. You're speaking from experience. What are you saying? When just the other day you said this, so you're just clearly a piece of shit.
I spoke out of line, and I will always admit when that's the case, because I don't want drama between me and people. I don't help. Like I said, I'm trying to be friendly and trying to make friends with people.
I cannot with people who are cool with drama channels when they're helping them go viral. But the second someone raises a valid point, it's all fake journalists and blocking. If you're collecting money based on a personal story, you kind of owe people some transparency when things start looking inconsistent. That's just real talk. There were also some older lives and activity that made people wonder if she was already plugged into this whole universe before she suddenly appeared as the new neighbor. Like, why was she already set up to be recorded on certain apps if she was brand new to the scene? It just added to the, "this might be too convenient" energy. Look, I get it. We all dislike how the Jenkins handle certain things, and it would feel good to have someone come in and show a better way. But wishing for that doesn't mean we should ignore red flags when they're waving right in front of us. Critical thinking is free, you guys. And some creators were a little too quick to make content without pausing to ask questions.
I know you did not just confirm that there is another place that you could be living while you figure out a better housing situation, but you're not letting your kids go to the better environment because you want to see things through with Drew.
And like I said, I tried to go like a month ago because I mentioned this. There was somewhere me and the kids could be, and extra responsibility while we figure out the next housing opportunity. It's like, no, because that's separating the family, and that's okay. Why? You know, there's that your family would be more comfortable with you all months in there.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, that a real man would be fine with separating his family if it meant that his wife and children were in a safer, cleaner, larger, more comfortable, more suitable environment. So I don't know what that makes him.
And that's why I question, does he actually have the same level of genuine care? Because I point out things that could make a difference, that could be a better opportunity, and it's just a Oh, cool. Not really gonna happen.
I'm like a broken record. No, you're not on the same page. He doesn't care. You need to leave.
I'm here all the fucking time. Why should not think about that? Who does that? My parents reading about this. I would never shove him in the fucking door and not like they don't get out. What's the name?
It's terrible that you're trapped in the motel all day and he doesn't care. I cannot imagine how the babies feel. Why are you choosing him over them at this point? Move them to the other place.
Okay, switching gears because there's more tea from the resilient Jenkins side that dropped around the same time. And honey, it's a lot. Drew posted this day in the life video that was supposed to show their routine. But girl, it kind of backfired. Instead of making them look put together, it highlighted a bunch of things that have people even more worried. He starts off gardening right outside their motel room on that little stoop area. But while he's filming, you can clearly hear and see the bong activity happening. The smoke is visible, there's a whole coughing fit that sounds rough, and then he just keeps going like it's normal. And it's not a one-time thing. This gardening and smoking moment happens multiple times throughout the same day in the video.
Like, some of y'all owe me an apology. It's come to my attention while I was scrolling my FYP this morning. I saw one of my favorite creators that post about Resilient Jenkins, and they said there's another creator that's actually stayed at the shelter the same as the Resilient Jenkins. Who knew? The shelter. You guys gave me so much shit. I'm not saying everybody, but y'all gave me so much shit for talking about the shelter. I confirmed it was the shelter, not only through the shelter, but through online sources and local information. I actually spoke with the local social worker. Across the street from this shelter is one of those social hubs for people that are homeless. Well, this woman, she's a single mom. She has one child, and she's living at the same motel as the Resilient Jenkins are. She's homeless, and she's able to live there for 4 months. She documents her time in spending the time in the shelter, cleaning, cooking for herself, applying for jobs, and doing all the right things as a parent.
Here's why the setting makes it hit different. They're in one single motel room with 4 kids. There's no backyard, no separate space, no real separation between the adults' choices and the children's living area. Everything is right there. One door, one stoop, parking lot right in front. So when the adults are out there doing their thing, it doesn't feel like they're stepping away. It feels like the front door has become the smoke spot, the filming spot, and the kids' only entrance all at once. People are naturally asking about the smell and what the kids are breathing in, what their clothes and bedding smell like after being in that tight space. It's not the same as having a big house where you can go far away. This is all super close quarters. Then the timeline gets even messier. After these moments, he realizes it's time to go pick up Deshawn from school. He drives off, shows the school bus, shows the kid, and even includes a hug with Stephanie at the end. Later in the same video, he's heading out again around 3:15 to pick up the girls. So the sequence is gardening and smoking, then school pickups, all in one upload.
Daddy, please. What? Why are you posting this? I love that he's doing a day in life video and the first minute is just him doing rugs. What? Okay, Daddy, can we wash our hands maybe? Little scrub. King Daddy might not give you a house, but those fingers, he'll give you a UTI, that's for sure. I love how he didn't edit any of that out. Thank you. I feel like I'm there with him. I'm enjoying our time together, King. What even? We just spent a minute watching you smoke. That's a day in the life. That's it.
That raises serious questions about driving right after, and whether he was in the right state to be behind the wheel with a child in the car. You cannot post something like that and then act surprised when people side-eye the judgment. There was also a moment where something that looked like it might be adult items or paraphernalia appeared to be within easy reach of the kids, including little Atlas, who is known for putting things in his mouth. In a cramped motel room, that kind of thing is extra worrying because there's so little space to keep everything properly separated and safe. The video tries to balance it out with clips of cleaning the room, interacting with the kids, and Stephanie spending time with them too, but it mostly focuses on the younger ones. It comes across a bit performative, like they're trying to prove they're attentive parents right after showing moments that suggest otherwise. Then, as if that wasn't enough, Drew starts doing push-ups in the gravel parking lot in a tank top. After previously talking about being physically limited or disabled and unable to work, seeing him out there doing all this activity, filming, cleaning, exercising, it just doesn't add up for some people.
How much are you guys spending on rugs? Can you just tell us? Can you just tell us where all the money's going?
I think I'm gonna from here to here.
Then there's like 2 minutes of them cleaning. It's the same cleaning they do every single day. We're not watching that. I can't keep watching them clean that room. And then he has to smoke again. I don't understand. Okay, he's smoking again. Is this King Daddy flexing on us? Is that what he thinks is happening? Like, I don't know. I don't know. This whole video is just him smoking. Sick. Get your family a house. A day in the life is just him smoking on their front stoop, on their step, on their motel stoop. Go to work. I thought you did gig work all day.
The whole thing gives the impression that there's energy for content creation, gardening, and fitness content in the parking lot, but the big priority of getting the family into stable housing seems to be moving slower. And yes, spending $30 or $40 here and there on marijuana isn't going to magically solve housing. But when you're repeating it while 4 kids are still in that one room, people are going to question the priorities. Stephanie apparently went on Facebook acting surprised that a CPS worker had an attitude with her. But when your family is posting videos that include bong activity right before school pickups and everything happening in such close proximity to the kids, it's not shocking that concerns keep growing. You can't keep uploading moments that raise questions and then be confused when people, including professionals, have reactions. Kids' school routines shouldn't be content anyway, especially not mixed into videos that already have adults doing questionable things. The hug at the end doesn't cancel out the earlier parts. Children aren't props for damage control. At the end of the day, Drew handed everyone the footage himself. He didn't edit out the parts that look bad. He thought he was showing a normal day, but a lot of viewers saw a pattern of choices that feel risky in that environment. Nobody is saying life in a motel is easy. Struggles happen. But normalizing certain things while kids are in such tight quarters is what has people talking.
There once was a time when King Daddy was trying to say that he was physically disabled and unable to work. Let us not forget that. Okay, because now he's doing push-ups. When a few months ago he was saying he was not able to work.
Okay, it's about 2:00 p.m. and gotta go hit to.
Yo, King Daddy's feeling himself so much he forgot what he was saying. He's just looking at himself in the camera like, ooh, look at me, my little arms out. I did some push-ups. King Daddy, what is this seductive look you're giving us? First of all, you're going to get us in trouble with Pookie, okay? Because she's going to be mad at us for watching your video of you trying to make yourself a thirst trap, okay? I know that you're trying to get out of the motel. And I know that the best way for you to do that is to find yourself another Pookie, right? Baby mama number 4. We get it. But don't get us in trouble. That lady's gonna come on here in the teal champion shirt and start screaming at us for watching your thirst trap videos. Put the arms away. Put the rugs away, okay? King, you're gonna get us in trouble, King.
Anyway, that's the latest tea on both the Mama Candy situation and this recent day in the life upload from the family. It's a lot to unpack, and like always, a lot of this is based on what people are seeing in the videos and what's being alleged or reported online. We don't have all the private details, so take it with a grain of salt. What do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And tell me again, where are you watching from and what time is it there right now? Don't forget to like this video if it gave you something to think about, subscribe if you haven't, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Talk to you soon!